Greetings, I'm the man behind the mask, and I'd like to talk to you about hockey. Our trek through the playoffs continues as another round has come and gone. So now it's time to do a quick recap of what went down in the second round. But first...
Hi. I was just playing Angry Birds. Yeah, that's it. Angry Birds. That's what I was doing.
Well, look sharp, PK, because we've got another round to cover.
Well then, what are we waiting for? Let's do this.
Alright, so diving right in, we'll as usual start with the Western Conference and look at the Blues and the Kings series. And what can I say? The Kings have done it again. This is what it looks like when a team just gels perfectly together during the most important games of the year. Sure, you have Quick living up to his name, and Dustin Brown becoming the captain that is truly leading the charge, but you've also got Downey, Kopitar, Carter, Richards, Penner. I could easily go on. They just flat out outplayed St. Louis, whose big offensive stars barely produced anything. Their defense was uncharacteristically sloppy, and their goaltending surprisingly shaky. Though the Kings started out these playoffs as the bottom seed, I think they are now the team to beat in just about everyone's minds.
Alright, Daryl Sutter is back in a big way. This coach has helped the LA Kings win the last 8 out of 9 games in the playoffs. Now for an 8th place team, that is amazing. They've just knocked off the number 1 team in the West. They've just knocked off the number 2 team in the West with a sweep, mind you. And it's also the first sweep in LA Kings history. As well, Jonathan Quick between the pipes reminds me of a young Kiprusoff. Well, maybe he wasn't that young. In 2004. Sutter knows how to pick his teams, and he knows how to pick his time. This team is absolutely brilliant right now. I don't know if there's anyone that can really stop them in the West. In fact, I can see LA making it to the finals. However, the next team that they have to face is just as eager to make it to the final dance of the 2012 playoffs.
Okay, up next we have Phoenix and Nashville. And like LA, Phoenix has gone from being the first round exit that many thought they would be to an unbelievably strong contender for the Cup. When up against Nashville, a team noted for its strong defensive style and stellar goaltending, Phoenix beat them at their own game. The Coyotes played lockdown defense, blocking loads of shots that the Predators threw their way. And with Mike Smith's acrobatics heading off just about anything that did manage to get past the defensive line, all the Coyotes needed was that one goal to tip the scale in their favor for 3 of their 4 wins in the series. I'll tell you what, with play like this, it is going to be a very tough call between the last 2 teams in the West.
And this is how the West was won. What? Too soon? Let's think about it this way for a second. The West has finished their series off before the East even had a chance to, for 2 rounds in a row now. And the West was the one that was going to be the more tighter and the more pretty much back and forth series that you probably would have seen. However, with LA sweeping and now with Phoenix winning over Nashville, we've got these series that are really just one-sided. And it's not something you expect. The West has been so unpredictable. Well, of course, I predicted the last 2 wins for the West, but that's just me. That you just don't know what's going to happen. Now, Phoenix is going to be in a position now where they're going to be in the next round, and they've never been in the conference finals. But Nashville did try to do something. They tried to take him out. They tried to make sure that they won at least one game. And overall, it wasn't a bad series. Just Nashville couldn't keep up with Phoenix. And now Phoenix is moving on. So, if you ask me, great going, Phoenix. I actually knew you could do it. Sorry, Nashville. There's always next year.
Switching over to the other side of the map, we now have the first matchup in the Eastern Conference between the New York Rangers and the Washington Capitals. This was another close call for the Rangers, as another of the lower-seeded teams in the East pushed them to a 7th game. With 6 of the 7 games being decided by only 1 goal, I've got to give credit to both teams. But in the end, the clutch play of players like Brad Richards and Henrik Lundqvist is what gave the Rangers another win by a hair in this race for the Cup. One can only hope that their performance won't be as spotty in the 3rd round.
Rangers and Washington. Who knew? It would have went 7 games. Overall, the East has been trending like this, so I find that the Rangers winning this series was something that they had to fight hard for. I mean, overall, Washington gave them a good run for their money. I didn't even see that coming. I thought the Rangers would have stomped over Washington. But in the end, they made it. They're in the conference finals. Now let's see if they can go 2 more rounds to see if they can battle and win the Stanley Cup.
And lastly, we have Philadelphia and New Jersey. Once again, defense trumps offense. Against Pittsburgh, Philadelphia scored 30 goals. Against New Jersey, their goal total was cut down to 11. After Game 1, Jersey came out strong and practically set up a defensive zone wall, and Martin Brodeur was proving to the world that he still has a lot of hockey left to play in his career. Not to mention, when the series started to turn in the Devils' favor, the Flyers just could not keep themselves out of the penalty box, whereas the Devils stayed calm and collected and continued to play very disciplined hockey. Now, they're on their way to the Eastern Finals for the first time in 9 years.
Philadelphia and New Jersey. Well, I called it. I had to. I knew that New Jersey's style was not going to be something that Philly could overcome. Their goaltending in the last round proved to be something that would be their downfall. There wasn't as many goals scored. However, there was still a lot of defense that Philly couldn't overcome. And Martin Brodeur, as the playoffs get better, he's actually starting to look better too. It's just going to be one of those matches that wasn't going to work out for Philly. They just can't make it past the 2nd round. They haven't been able to for a bit. But that's okay. I mean, they tried. But after seeing them in the 1st round, I knew this wasn't going to be the match for them. I knew, in fact, that New Jersey would have had their number, and they did. And now it's New Jersey moving on to the conference finals. Well, that does it for that one. But overall, Philly, get better goaltending. You might be able to get a little bit further next round. Of course, same could be said about a certain team that I follow too.
Alright, now that the 2nd round is in the books, let's take a look at the 3rd round matchups. Tell you what though, not exactly feeling that confident trying to call the results of any of the remaining series after how crappy my 2nd round picks turned out, but let's give it a shot. Looking at the Western Conference Finals, we have the Phoenix Coyotes and the LA Kings. Never seen this matchup before in the playoffs, but it is sure to be crazy. Both of these teams have made me eat my words multiple times this year, and now that they are the only 2 left, I'm really finding this to be a tough call. Both teams are amazing and have been having Cinderella playoff runs, but given the opponents that LA has beaten, and thoroughly I might add, I'm going to jump on the Kings bandwagon and say LA in 7 games. Now, over in the Eastern Conference Finals, you'll find the New York Rangers taking on the New Jersey Devils. This is a classic Atlantic Division rivalry, and a rematch of the 1994 Eastern Finals. I fully expect both teams to attack each other with nearly as much intensity as we saw between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Though New Jersey has proven to be a tougher team than most thought, and the Rangers' play in the postseason has been spotty at times, I'm still going to go with New York in 6 games. What are your thoughts, PK?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a battle. LA and Phoenix, the Western Conference Finals, are here. Now, I'm not too sure what to make of this one. We've got 2 teams that are fighting over this, and they're doing a brilliant job. Phoenix's first time to the finals, the conference finals anyways, and LA, they're not a stranger to this. However, they've got something that the Phoenix Coyotes don't have. Daryl Sutter. That man can show any team how to become a contender for the finals, and he's done it this year. And I think he'll do it again. So if you ask me, the Kings are going to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals in the West in 6 games. For the East, we now have New Jersey and the Rangers. The Rangers just got off a very tough series against Washington. And New Jersey have been sitting pretty for the past few days. So they've been practicing and making sure that they're ready for the Rangers. This is going to be a very tough series for both teams because I don't think there's going to be too much of a defensive battle. It's going to be a lot of offense. And this is where the goaltenders are going to come into play. So this might actually be a very hardcore goaltender battle. Overall, though, I would love to see New Jersey win, but I don't think that may be possible. But I've got a feeling, though. I'm actually going to say New Jersey in 6.
And those are our predictions for the Western and Eastern Conference Finals, the first of which starts later today. Thanks for joining me today, PK, and I tip my hat to you and your second round predictions, my friend. They were pretty spot on.
Well, thank you for having me on here once again. It's been a great time. I'm looking forward to being back for the next round. And, you know, I think the tables have turned this time. And, yeah, I tip my hat to you as well. I think I learned something from last year's playoffs with your predictions. I guess, what can I say? The trainee has become a little bit more than the trainer. Anyways, guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks again.
Well, that's all for now. See you guys again after the conference finals.
Where the heck is Will Wheaton's Twitter account? Ah, there it is. Will. Once again, your LA Kings did it again.
What are you doing?
Ah! What? So I lost a bet. Again. And I had to send Will Wheaton congratulations on your LA Kings winning team thing. However, at least it wasn't as bad as what Aaron Douglas had to do. He had to wear the LA Kings jersey out in public. I feel bad for him because he's a very big Canucks fan. Have a luck.